Okay, so we can all
City.
agree that Jake and Austin are dead right now.
Oh boy. Yeah, this is kind of like the Charlie and Chocolate Factory situation, audience. Right now it's just down to me and Witch at the moment.
Yeah, who
So,
gets killed next?
yeah, yeah. And who's going to get the Chocolate Factory that's secretly disguised as you avoiding like health inspections and all that stuff, you know?
I don't own a business, so probably not me.
Oh no, when you get that Chocolate Factory, man. I still remember watching that lawyer do a whole video on Charlie and the Chocolate Factory and stated, "Yeah, Willy Wonka, yeah, you giving that whole chocolate factory to Charlie, that was an underhanded deed because since you changed ownership, in that case, the new owner is going to have to be responsible for making everything up to date health wise, you know?
And plus, that's
Oh
a
yeah,
minor too, man.
exactly, you know?
Like you couldn't
And
have
all
waited until like at least 18.
Yep, and also you all the lawsuits are going to be piling up because of what happened to those four other kids, you know, who received bodily harm and body alterations. Yeah, I know they signed that contract, but if a contract has lettering that's illegible to read from the human eye, in that case, it's not valid. So,
Yeah.
yeah, you're
Yeah,
screwed.
no, I expect a couple lawsuits happening. Not to me
Yeah,
though, because I'm not
yeah.
responsible for those kids and and their shitty parents. But whatever.
Yep. But they're going to have to aim for somebody, and knowing Willy Wonka, he's probably going to take a one-way trip to Oopa Land and go incognito and all that stuff, you know? So,
Oh, big chance, big chance.
yep, yep. So in that situation, who are you going to sue? Who's the legal owner of the building, of the factory now, you know?
This
Yeah.
child. I don't think they're gonna
Yep.
try to sue a child.
Mhm.
But what do I know? I don't know legal stuff.
Yeah. We know how to eat chocolates, audience, not make them or sell them, you know?
hmm Okay, well, let me see the order real quick.
Gotcha.
Okay, I got a little bit of time, but like, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
But it's
So,
weird that like Jake and Austin aren't here right now, and it's just us two. It's like,
yeah, yeah. The
it's
stars
weird.
didn't align this week, audience, so bear
Oh,
with
Jake will be
us.
here later. Also,
Mhm.
should I make the pants on this OC I'm doing like a light gray? I think a light gray would work.
Go for it. You
Okay,
know?
we'll do that. We'll do that later. Audience, I'm also working on
Gotcha.
something that I've been meaning to do for a little bit, so I'm gonna be
Gotcha.
doing that in the background.
So, you know, expect a fun night tonight, audience. I mean, we get to see a Nazi get her face burnt off, you know, for the second
I
time. You know?
You better
So
do commentary with me. I swear, just for this
oh,
1 week,
okay, okay. Given the circumstances, yes. All right.
just this
So
1 week. That's all I ask.
it's like Spider-Man, audience. Everybody gets one. So, you know. All right.
Because if Jake isn't here by the time my book rolls around, then I'm
Mm-hmm.
gonna need someone to do commentary with me.
Gotcha, gotcha. Do, 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 do. Clean yourself. Hey, hey, hey.
And
Sorry,
if
audience.
you
I was
hear
just,
King of the Hill in the background, it's because Cryptid's watching King of the Hill.
yeah,
At least
it's
I
an
have the
awesome
decency
show.
to put a headphone in.
And yeah, I've been listening back to John Redcorn's songs, audience. They're really great. Go listen to him. Rest in peace, Jonathan Joss. You know, hopefully, we'll get justice, you know? So,
Probably
uh,
not knowing our luck, but who knows? I could be wrong.
yeah, yeah. Do 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 do. What else is going on?
Not too much, honestly.
Mm-hmm. Alrighty.
I'm still just kind of chilling.
Gotcha.
Also, I
All right.
got the spikes I needed for my one of my cosplays, so I can at least start working on that.
There
Everyone be
you go,
proud.
you know.
Everyone clap in the
Yay.
comments.
There you go, you know. Hey, yay.
Cosplay's hard, okay? Cosplay's hard.
Oh yeah, I mean I see all the work that goes into cosplays. I've been to conventions before, you know.
She's like, I've been to enough conventions. I know it's good.
Mhm. I still remember the first time I went to New York Comic Con, right? I swear to you, I saw somebody with the build of comic book guy cosplaying as Harley Quinn from the Suicide Squad film.
Hey, I
Exactly, you
mean,
know? Hmm.
live your truth, man.
Yep, yep. And it's at one point I always I did consider like maybe going to Comic Con wearing a Deadpool cosplay. I mean, maybe dress up as Machete, the Mexican Deadpool, But I just always bring so much stuff with me to get signed, and all the bags I'll be carrying because I normally go alone.
Me at
So
San
if I'm,
Diego Comic Con, but I have to limit my
Mhm.
budget because I'm poor.
Gotcha. But it's just like if I were to carry any book bags or other shopping bags, it kind of would throw off the vibe of the cosplay, wouldn't it? You
Oh
know?
no, I've done it. I've done it. Just put your shit down when people want pictures. It'd be like that. Trust me, I've
I'm
done. I've been in
I'm
this for a
I'm
while
so
now. I know what's good. Or
I'm
have someone carry your
I'm
shit for you.
I am so nervous about putting my stuff down because the second you turn away, it only takes like what 3 seconds for somebody to grab that, you know?
It depends.
I
Most people are kind of
Yep,
chill.
yep. Last year, I do have a friend who, works at a store, right? They sell a whole bunch of pop culture geek stuff, like Marvel, DC, Walking Dead, this and that. They did pay for a booth in New York Comic Con, right? And they were selling like these $200 to $500 statues of Marvel characters, right?
Yeah.
Unfortunately, when the vendor, because like his coworker didn't arrive on time, he really needed to use the bathroom, right? So when he went out for like 2 minutes and came back, somebody stole the like $300 Iron Man statue.
And that's just shitty behavior. Most
I
normal
know.
people wouldn't do that.
I know. It was very sad. Like he told me he did go up to the staff about that, and they said the only thing they can do at that point is go through the cameras and see if they can identify the person who stole it. You're not going to get it back likely, but they'll at least try to attempt to ban that person. But
Yeah.
that's a big if they could.
I saw. I
Right.
was on. I was looking up Alpha Fight stuff on TikTok because there's a small enough community of us on there, and I saw a cosplayer on there, right? And I
Yeah.
knew who this person was, and he is not a good person. And I was like
Mhm.
2 seconds away from actually like sending a really petty ass comment, but I was like, I'm not doing that, because I'm gonna
Mhm.
be the bigger person here and not
Yeah.
kick someone while they're down.
Yeah.
So Mark, if you see this, go suck a dick in a bad way.
Gotcha,
No, and I
gotcha.
fucking mean it, you fucking Zionist piece of shit.
There you go, man. At the end of the day, comic convention should be all about all
And he
having
was at
fun,
New
you
York
know?
Comic Con too, so just keep an eye out.
Right, right. At the end of the day, you just want causes less drama. I mean, you're paying so much for those conventions anyway just to get in. You kind of want to have a good time while you're there?
And sometimes it's hard because
Mm.
if you have to do a lottery, shoot me in the head. I hate doing the lottery system. Do you have to do the lottery
Dude,
system for New York or is it just San Diego?
uh, I don't recall doing any lotteries for New York, but I paid to put my name in a lottery raffle for a Captain America shield. Jeez, I
That's
spent
different.
like,
I was talking about actual tickets.
oh, okay, okay. Nah, then I never had to do that.
Well, you're a
Dude,
lucky bastard because I have to do that every
Dude,
fucking time and I hate doing it every
dude,
single fucking time.
dude, I swear I must have spent like $80 putting my name multiple times in that little raffle for that Captain America shield. It was an actual prop from
Damn.
the first Avenger movie. I'm like, oh, come on,
Like,
come on.
do I really want to spend $80?
Yeah, I'm like kissing each ticket as I'm putting them in. Like, please, please, God, please, please. I've been good this year. Come
Like
on.
that's like an appropriate time to pray to God.
Yeah, yeah. So I didn't win it though, audience. But hey, what can you do?
Rigged. It was
Yeah.
rigged.
Yep, yep. So, all right then. 10 minutes passed. Come on, get started.
Sure, he'll come when he
Gotcha.
comes.
Gotcha. Well, Okay, anyway, audience, welcome to Comic Fanatic Live. You're here, me, Cryptid Seeker 415. Yeah, I may not have an intro tonight, but hey, at least I showed up. So that's my
Woo!
intro.
Jake is temporarily dead, and Austin is dead. He'll be back later. But I'm
Mhm.
Richter, also known as the Witch of Jotunheim. Pronouns they, he, and stay tuned for a cool little OC guy who's a sleepy boy because I
Mhm.
like him. I made him in a whim because I needed an Aurora.
Yeah,
Anyways,
there we go.
and I also
And look.
showed up because I actually um
Mhm.
plan my days around these things.
Uh huh.
So
There you
the
go.
fuck y'all, you guys who
And
underestimate me. I'm always
again,
here early.
yep.
So
And
booyah.
there you go. And together, we are the Fanatics, here to bring you the news and reviews of the week, audience. And tonight, we have a special week for you. We have some Dan Slott writing of Superman as well as Spider Boy. We also
Superboy,
have.
get your
Yeah, yeah,
facts
just.
straight.
Okay, and we also have for you Avengers Academy, some Mummy content, some Doom Division, and all that good stuff. Now, which I understand we also have a little thing called socials. If you want to bring them out.
I mean, I did hear that rumor, but
Hmm.
yeah, I wouldn't put this on a resume. But yeah, we do have the socials. So first of all, subscribe to us because if you guys subscribe and get us to 100, um, something cool might show up. As long as everyone does their part, I'll be able to finish it by the time we get to the 100 subscribbles.
Hmm.
Stay tuned for that. Also, you can follow us on our Twitter at Comic Fanatic 69 with a PH, mind you. I need to preface that. Always with a PH, not an
Yep.
F. That's a different place. I don't know if anyone's done that. Anyways, if you don't want to follow the whole squad and you just want to follow little old me, you can find me on my Twitter at Witch of Jotun with an E instead of a U because you know what? Yeah, I post stuff on there. I've been posting a lot of Castlevania stuff. So if you want Castlevania stuff, follow me on there. You can also
Hmm.
find me on my TikTok, Instagram, and my Twitch whenever I decide to actually stream again on Twitch at witch underscore of underscore Jotunheim. On those places, you can find me on Tumblr and Blue Sky and North Star Aria, and you can also find me on Red Note / Shao Hong Shu at Witch of Jotun. And if you want to be so kind and help your boy financially, you can follow moi you can follow my Ko-Fi at Witch of Jotunheim. And Crypt is in the same spot as he always is because he doesn't like to move often.
Nope.
And the other two are dead. So
Yep. So, alrighty then. I guess with that, we should probably get on to the books, audience. So,
yup.
all right. So let's start us off with some Avengers number 26, audience. Gotta say, dope cover. You know, this
Mm-hmm.
issue really is. Well, actually, this whole tie-in is Sam Wilson's time to shine, really, because it's just him in the Impossible City, which is their headquarters right now, audience. That was being invaded by the Masters of Evil, right, run by Tinkerer, and it's just Sam there alone. And keep in mind, he already got bruised up from the previous conflict with Doctor Doom and that stuff. So it's just Sam and basically the spirit of the Impossible City who had to jerry rig him up in armor. And despite what my co-hosts had to say, I still think the armor looks pretty cool and slick. Likely
Oh,
we'll
that
see.
is that the armor that Sam's wearing right now?
Yep, the one on the cover right here. Yep. Hmm.
It's not my
Yeah.
favorite, but
Hmm.
I've seen worse outfits, so it could be worse.
Gotcha. Yeah, I like the blue, and plus, that you kind of do need to do this since Sam is prominent in the MCU. You have to make an alternate costume of some sort so that they could adapt it into the movies. It's like the same thing with Bucky Barnes, right? They designed the revolutionary outfit for him in the comics, and what happens like a year later? Bam, he's wearing that suit in the MCU. Jeez, has it really just only been a year
Since you have to
between?
suffer, yes, now you
Yeah,
have to suffer more.
yeah.
At least it looks
Gotcha.
good in live action, though.
Yeah, yeah. But then at the same time, they kind of had to tweak a few things to make that costume the MCU version of that costume. They didn't give Bucky the man bun, and
I wish they did.
and
I
they
like the
also
man
kept.
bun.
Yep, and they didn't give him the liquid metal arm. They had him stick with the vibranium arm. So
Yeah, well, they're
yeah,
not gonna go all out, okay, for Bucky.
yeah, yeah. It's again, it's merchandise. I mean, Bucky's like one of those. It's hard to come up with a different design because I swear to you, like I remember some DLCs, right, in some Marvel games, where the only difference between one suit of Bucky and another is just whether or not he has that little mask on his eyes. You know?
Yeah, it depends on the era.
Yeah, like no, I mean the body type is exactly the same. It's just yeah, one has the eye mask, the other doesn't. Like I'm not paying $8 for this. Come on, you
I'm not
know?
paying $80 for a mask.
Yeah. So anyway, back to the issue. This is okay. So this is Tinkerer making the most out of the situation of the Avengers by invading the Impossible City, which he successfully did, and he's also looking to release the Twilight Court. The court that was there to assassinate King, but then they got defeated and captured by the Avengers. But they're still powerhouses at the end of the day, so it's gonna be big trouble if they get released, right?
I
So
guess.
yeah, so they're trying their best to release them from their crystallized cocoon. You do get some insight on one of the villains here. His name is, let's see, Dreadnought, right? Yeah, apparently he got screwed over by Doctor Doom, so he kind of wants to use this Twilight Court to go kick Doom's ass,
I mean, I want to kick Doom's ass for my own personal reasons, but yeah.
There you go. There you go. So, all right.
And I'm down to
The,
put devil's advocate for the man if need be.
gotcha. So, while all this is going down, that's when Sam Wilson makes his play, right? Man, MVP for Sam, right? Like you're going up against like six villains all on your own when you're already suffering some injuries as well.
Mhm.
Uh, he does have his Captain America moment here, right? Let's see. Let me read that line. Uh, think about this. You're down one master of evil already. Or did you not wonder where Madcap went? 4-on-1? That's just an everyday Captain America business. So,
Mhm.
dang. And Tinkerer is just, talking smack back to Samson. Hey, do you really think you could hit me with your little shield when I can predict its flight path with 99.4% accuracy?
Oh, but
And
there's
then
that point four.
that point six, yeah, and Sam saying for an Avenger, point six is plenty of room. But unfortunately, like, uh, it, Sam gets dogpiled by these villains. They all try attacking him at once, specifically the Dreadnought guy, right? Apparently, Doctor Doom, his form of screwing this guy over is kind of fusing his armor to his body. So you're like, God dang it, man! What did this guy do to you, Victor? You know.
Like I know
So
Victor has his beef, but like I don't.
I
He has
know,
beef with
right?
a lot of fucking people in these books, man. I don't know what to fucking tell you, man.
Gotcha. So anyway, the dreadnought goes on his winged devil Pegasus, and the chase ensues, right? But luckily for Sam, he kind of took the time to mesmerize the layout of this city, and now, and since the soul of the city is now helping him out, they know the terrain better than the Masters of Evil do. And during the skirmish, they used the fallen debris from one of the buildings to fall on Dreadnought and knock him out. So look at Sam; he already took out two of the members already.
Good for him.
Yep. Unfortunately, this is when Mr. Hyde pops out. And
I
god
know
dang, man.
him.
Yep.
He
Daisy
did a thing in
Johnson's dad.
Alpha Flight book.
Yep. Daisy Johnson's dad, audience. And
He
right
was in
now,
Alpha Flight for like one issue.
there you go. There you go. And right
Thank
now,
you, Young
he's
Avengers.
Yep. And right now he's kind of like in his Hulk phase right now. He's super buff, super strong, and he got Sam by the leg, Things ain't looking too good, but like, Sam does has his line saying, "Hey, when you're an Avenger, you never fight alone." As T'Challa pops in from behind Mr. Hyde as the issue ends,
He's like,
So
hey,
two symbols of two great nations saving the headquarters of the Avengers audience.
again. They did this. They're doing this shit again.
I know, right? So yeah, I mean, it is a straightforward issue. I'm liking that Sam's getting some time to shine in this because I really need the taste wiped out of my mouth from the Greg Pak samples and story, man. Oh man, I'm never gonna make Greg Pak forget that, dude. Like, I still laugh at it to this day, audience.
Most
But
people do.
yep. But all right, and yeah, that's really it for Avengers number 26. So with that, we can move on to the next.
Hold on, let me load it in real quick. Okay.
Gotcha.
Hello, we're here talking about Doom's Division number Trace. Right, we're
Yep.
on 3. Yeah, okay,
And,
cool.
yeah. And can I just say which like, I was lucky enough to get the variant cover of what was that writer who's writing Ultimate X-Men? I forgot
Peach
her name.
Momoko.
Peach Momoko. Yeah, she did a variant cover with Ari in for this issue. So like good
Honestly,
on her.
it's fresh. She
Mhm.
hasn't yet.
Mhm.
Anyways, so we start off in Joseon, Korea, about a while ago. This was pre-Japan colonialist bullshit. Korea.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Anyways, what the fuck is the green guy's name again? The
The
general.
the
I always forget
general.
his name.
Yeah.
If I
It
forget his name, audience, just remember I'm gonna use descriptors.
Yeah,
Um,
this is where it's kind of hard when like I'll give them credit for creating original characters for this team as opposed to derivatives of like other established heroes, but so that kind of makes it a little hard to remember what their names are, to let it
yeah, but
stick.
some of them I can remember. It just takes me a little bit. I'm not good with remembering names. Okay,
Gotcha.
like if they're not if I'm not fully 1,000% obsessed with them, then yeah. Also,
Yeah,
Cryptid, you're gonna be in charge for changing the pictures because I don't remember what pictures I sent in for this book.
gotcha, gotcha.
Okay, so we start
Yeah.
off in Joseon, Korea, where we see the general playing a game of Go with who we're gonna call. Okay, he has a very specific name that I'm forgetting. What the fuck was his name again?
Let me
So
see.
basically, he's a Korean. They are a Korean shaman of some sort. I don't know why
Yeah,
I'm blanking on. Mudang. That's what we're calling him. Um,
Wudang. Yeah, that's his name.
yeah.
I see it in the book.
I just saw that. I was like, where
Yeah.
is it? Playing a game,
Huh.
you know. And we're seeing some people who have farming equipment chasing
Mhm.
after, like running after something, you know, and they're having their little conversation talking about you know about what's happening in Joseon at this point and what they can do,
Mhm.
and all this jazz. Um, yeah, we see those people with the spears and shit like that running
Mhm.
amok. It's not fun. The general's not. It's not pleased. Not so
Mhm.
pleased as if you could see it. Anyways, so we cut back over to Hokkaido, which is in
Mhm.
Japan. If you didn't know, and guess who's here, besties?
Ooh.
Sunfire.
There you go,
Can't see my face.
leading the resistance against Doom. You know.
I mean, someone has to, and I'm surprised it isn't any of these motherfuckers.
Yep.
You would
Yeah.
think they would
Between
be one of the first people to do so.
yeah. Yeah, between a Sunfire and Red Hulk, it seems like Doom by the end of this is gonna feel the wrath of all the red colored based heroes. You notice that? Like,
Uh,
mhm.
anyway, so we're back on the fight. Teguki, he's partially drowning, and I say
Let me bring that
partially.
up.
It wasn't this page, but you can leave it up. It's fine.
Okay, gotcha. I just
What the fuck was her name again?
Wave,
Yeah, no.
Arrow.
Talk about the other girl, Arrow. That was her name. I was
Yep,
thinking
Arrow.
Wave was
Yeah,
Arrow for a second, but that's my fault.
gotcha.
Yeah.
I still I still find it funny that he's supposed to be like the Superman stand-in, yet he's getting really
He's
overpowered
getting dog
by
walked.
water. Yeah, yeah. I'm
He's
like,
getting, I
dude.
mean, and so Arrow's like, Wave, I can't believe you sold us out to Sunfire. And Wave's
Mm-hmm.
like, he swore me to secrecy. I thought you'd join us once you knew. Like, are you still gonna side with Doom? And Arrow's like,
Mm-hmm.
no, I just wish you would have clued me in. Like,
Mm-hmm.
fuck.
Mm-hmm.
And Wave is like, you're no rookie. You should know this. And Arrow's
Mm-hmm.
like, fine, just release Teguki and we can talk. And she's like, I cannot do that. He's too dangerous. And Arrow's like,
Mm-hmm.
can't or won't. Yes to that. Yes to both. Anyways, Teguki
Mm-hmm.
is drowning. People are trying to save him. But don't worry, he gets saved. And Teguki's like, okay, bitch, let's settle this, Sunfire. But guess what?
Oh,
Before anything
right,
could happen,
there you go.
Best Girl Karma pulls up, our favorite lesbian mutant.
Mm-hmm.
Our favorite lesbian mutant who deserves more love, but at least she's in a fucking book.
Right, right.
Anyway, so she uses her telepathy to stop Teguki, and
Yep.
all that jazz. And so basically uses her mind control to be like, go after the general. That's what happens.
Now, question: is she that much of a powerhouse of a telepath?
She's pretty good. She's not Omega
Okay,
level mutant from last I checked, but she is still pretty good.
gotcha. Because I'm just like thinking in my mind. So it doesn't take much for a semi good telepath to control a literal Superman like figure. I'm like, dang, look at that.
Yeah, no, she's pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, she was a part of the New Mutants. She was a part of the X-Men related stuff. So she had to learn this stuff eventually.
Yeah, yeah.
Anyway, so Teguki gets a pretty good hit on the general. And we
Mm-hmm.
see Wave and Arrow fighting their thing. And I forgot his name, the blonde guy. Do you remember what his name was?
Oh boy. Let's see.
What the
Blonde
fuck was
guy.
his name?
Blonde guy. Let me bring up the pictures. Nah, just go on. Like
Okay.
I don't see his name.
So basically, he wraps around Teguki with like the ground beneath him, because that's what he does. But Teguki can easily break out of that and
Mm-hmm.
all this other jazz. But we see some robo looking motherfucker try to hit Karma.
You
Um,
bring that up.
yeah, that picture. But don't worry, she's fine.
Mm-hmm.
And the Robo's like, take on someone your own size. And she's like, luckily, like you're lucky that I can't get inside your fucking metal head, bitch.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so yeah, Wave and Sunfire are blasting. They blast because that's what they
Yeah.
do. Blast with water and fire. Opposites
Mm-hmm.
attract. Just kidding. And hits the Robo guy. And
Yep.
causes them to short circuit a little bit with so many people in the fucking water.
I
Why
know,
did no
right?
one think to move back?
I know, right?
What is happening here? And so like Wave and fucking Sunfire are like, ah shit. Don't
Mm-hmm.
worry, General pulls up, he's fine. And so Sunfire's like, okay, this ends fucking now. And the General asks this one guy that he saved, be like, hey, you good? The guy's like, yeah, I'm good. Cool. Anyways, we go back to the past where we see the General and Mudang, they're doing their thing, creating peace, for the
Mm-hmm.
most part in Joseon, Korea. Yeah, I don't know what it was like back then because I wasn't alive back then. But
Mm-hmm.
from what it looks like here, it was fine. Not perfect, but fine. That's
Yeah.
really putting it bleakly. Anyway, so
Mm-hmm.
Arrow's like, okay, bitch, enough. And so Sunfire's like, okay, you changed the atmosphere to deflect the blast. That's very fucking clever. Also, can I just say, I don't like Sunfire's hair here. I don't like his hair.
No, too standard, right?
It's too short. It doesn't go with the
Mm-hmm.
mask. Like, I get
Mm-hmm.
it. It's practical, but I don't like it.
Right, right.
Anyway, so Arrow's like, clever. Is that what matters? I thought the mission was saving lives, no matter what fucking side we're on.
Mm-hmm.
And so Sunfire's like, Teguki, you of all people should not be so easily be fooled by a tyrant like Doom. Like, the fuck? You of all people should know this. And Teguki's like, Arrow's right. Fighting for Doom, being controlled by others. Like, we can't go on like this. This is my fucking error. Like, can we just, like, call a ceasefire real quick so we can figure our shit out. And Sunfire's like, it's not what I came here for, but yeah, sure, why not? Anyway, so we see in the distance, we see White Fox.
Yay!
Hey.
It's about
So she
time she
goes over,
pops
she
up.
like walks past. Technically, don't show the picture yet. She like
Yeah.
creates this thing in her mouth, right? That kind of looks
Mhm.
kind of icy. And you could switch
Yeah.
to the next picture.
Doo-doo-doo.
And she
There
kisses Sunfire,
we go.
putting
That's
the
something.
thingy in his mouth, which I'm
Yeah, that's
assuming
something.
can be made of ice of some
Yeah,
flavor.
that's something she did before. I recall in one of her one shots. Yeah, knockout kiss. So
Yeah,
hey.
so basically he faints because just like Bobby, like Iceman in the fucking Hellfire Gala issue where, the fire thing, which caused him
Hmm.
to not being able to fully be reformed, this is probably something similar to what's happening to Sunfire. Maybe a little bit different.
Yeah, yeah.
So Teguki is like, what the fuck, White Fox? What the shit? And so basically she's like, if you can't or won't follow simple fucking orders, then Doom has no further use for you. And that's where the
Hmm.
issue ends. I'm like, girly pop, what the hell?
Like, well, she is she does have her allegiance to Korean government. So yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
unfortunately. Dude, how
She
long is
does.
fucking One World Under
She's.
Doom happening? Jesus fuck. There's
I know,
so many
right?
books. We're
She's
barely in June and we have like a
Phanatic.
bajillion books.
Yep. But I do
At least
gotta
we're
say
getting a
this.
new Gods book.
There you go. And I do gotta say this: the cover for the next issue, it looks amazing with White Fox on the center of it. Go
It does
check it
look
out
pretty.
when you get a chance, audience.
Yeah.
But hey, you do. I guess with every national hero, superhero league, you do have to have one agent whose priorities are with the government at the end of the day. So
I
yeah, and
guess.
that just happens to be White Fox. Hey, if the government is okay with working on Doom, I guess she's like, okay, I have to be
Which
by my
is
country.
very
You know.
ironic. That's all I gotta
Yep.
say. The purest of irony.
Yep. 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 Gotcha.
Anyways,
So
that's it, audience. Go read Doom's Division. It's pretty good.
gotcha. But all right then. I guess with that, we could probably move on to the next book, which is let's
Yeah, I came
see.
in last minute, so I can
Yep.
talk.
Yay! He's
Go
here.
ahead,
He's
Jake.
alive.
Yes, yes, yes.
Mm,
Uh,
Go ahead, man.
we're taking a break from the book because I didn't have time to read it because I had a
Ooh.
bullshit to deal with, and and so we're going to be talking about Bionicle the game. This is not the first Bionicle game, but it is the first fully budgeted Bionicle game. And when I say
So.
fully budgeted, I mean they gave them 25 cents, but they made it work.
25 cents and they made it
Oh
work.
my
They made it work.
god.
Right?
Your money's worth. Mhm.
This game, unlike Bionicle Heroes, this actually did try to tell the story from the books. And it made the bold decision to tell two different storylines in one game. So
Ah,
this is actually Bionicle book 2 through 4. This is the second through fourth book all in
mhm.
one game.
Yeah.
This is also supposed to be promotional material for Bionicle the Mask of Light. That's why Takanova's on the cover, which is pretty smart to do. I just think that it was weird. I guess because if you did Mask of Light by itself, there isn't much for the Toa Nuva to do in gameplay wise. So I guess going back to the book 2 was a good idea. Anyway, our basic plot for the first half, again, there's two different plots. For the first part of the game, the Borakal are back. One of my favorite Bionicle villains, the Borakal. They have arrived on the island of Metro Nui, and they're destroying everything in their way. But the Toa Nuva the Toa Mata have to rise to stop them. And then after you do that, Bakuda's back, and he's like, I want the Mask of Light, and it's up to the Toa Nuva. They've evolved, ascended, remember, that's how the lore went.
Right.
And the Toa Nuva are teaming up to go hunt down the Mask of Light and stop Makuta from getting his grubby little hands on it and ushering in a new age of darkness. And if you read the recent Bionicle book, The Island of Doom, I'm reading, you know how fucked up that ending will get if Makuta gets the Mask of Light. So, but yeah, as far as the game goes, it's actually really ambitious. So basically, you go through all 6 of the Bionicle worlds. This is Tokoro.
Hey.
But yeah, so Koro, so yeah, you go through all the different Koros I'm sorry, I'm just getting back. I'm kind of out of sorts. All the different Koros in the on the island, and you're looking for the MacGuffin of each storyline. Each Tella has slightly unique gameplay, but it's more or less the same. You'll be relying on your shield, your mask of shielding, and your weapons to really fight at a long range. Fighting close up enemies is not ideal. You will get killed. I remember as a kid, and I still feel this way today, Takuro is an unusually long level. It is like insanely long. And when you play I remember as a kid that level was so long, I was like, is this the whole fucking game? I'm just gonna be playing as Tahu and Takuro. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I remember as a kid just that whole level taking like a fucking hour. And I was like, Jesus Christ. But the other levels are shorter, which is some ways is disappointing, but also some ways is like, thank God. Yeah, and like I said, you're just going through the game, basically replaying the events of like the Book 2 saga. But then there becomes a part of the game. Oh, and also you do get to play in third-person perspective as well, where you're fighting Rahi beasts like the Nui Jaga and all the other Rahi beasts from the first book that are plaguing the island. So there's a lot of good stuff for the lore nuts out there, I'll say. On Tahu's, you can also see how the gameplay works. You have 4 bars of health. You cannot increase that at all. That's just what it's going to be. And you also have an energy meter. The energy meter allows you to shoot out attacks from your bladed weapon. However, you can run out of energy. If you run out of energy, well, you can't shoot. The energy will recharge naturally, but you gotta fight for it. I think, but then and the game's pretty enjoyable. I think for what it is, like I was enjoying it fine. And I like I said, I there is some level of like you are immersed in this world. Like they do a lot of. It's a lot more effort, I think, into making the world be taken seriously than a lot of other Lego games I see. So I do appreciate like that level. Like when you're in Motunui, you're in Motunui. You know what I mean? It might not be as immersive as like the latest Call of Duty game, but they do want you to like actually be in the world. And that's the heart of what makes Bionicle so appealing. So appreciate that. But once you get halfway through, you can tell where it went from like 25 cents on the budget to like a penny. And that's unfortunate.
Wow.
It is the most like
no money.
It is the most like here, damn, we finished it game. I felt really bad.
This is what happens when you expect top quality material for Bionicle's audience, So
Yeah, well, it was doing okay. I actually didn't mind going through the level. Like I said, I think the Takoro level was a bit long, but I didn't mind it. But once you get past the Borok stuff and you get to the like closer to the end, once you get closer to like the Mask of Light saga, it's like holy shit, y'all just ran out of money. So I don't know what to say. It's hard to really be mad at them. Like it's clear that what happened, and it's clear that they had the full budget they wanted. This could have been the definitive Bionicle game. So it does kind of hurt my soul that this never really got to be what it was trying to be. I do think also another thing it's missing too, like you could tell the shortcuts they took as well, even with the story mode. I don't know if it's intentional, but you don't really get like the cool stuff in the Bionicle books. Like one of the coolest things about Bionicle is the character interactions. The clashing characters bouncing off each other, that's literally like what drags you into the first book. It's like the first book is like you get a lot of lore dumps, and it's kind of hard to understand because they're throwing new terms and new concepts at you. But the moment like the moment like Kopaka interacts with like Pohatu, that's when you're like, oh, this is fun. Like I'm having fun just watching these two just like bitch at each other for like a chapter.
We love bitchiness.
Yeah, and so not having that banter, I think, really does hurt the story mode. If they did this again, I would just kind of like to see that dialogue from the books in here. I'm not entirely sure that's where they wanted to go, but I would like to think if they had the money and budget, they would have added some of those lines in. Because the cutscenes in the game are there and they're sparse, but they're really just to like, kind of get the plot rolling, get the game rolling. Um, but yeah, I think it's more interesting to me. I do like this game more than Bionicle Heroes, but because it's I've never been in this position before. Because it's so like rushed at the end, I don't like. I can't recommend it either. But it's a shame because I like what I played. Um, whew, what do I give it? What do you give a game where it's like, oh, I liked it, but the back half was just like, ugh.
Give it like a 6, 5 or 6.
I got a 6. Yeah,
You
if you're
can't.
about, oh, what are you gonna
You
say,
can't
Kirby?
exact. You can't exactly give it an A for effort. You know.
I
So.
can't. I would if I could. Um, I would give this game. I would say if you're a Bionicle fan, definitely try it. I think this is more worth trying than Bionicle Heroes. Because Bionicle Heroes is like entertaining, but it's really repetitive. I do like that there's platforming because this isn't a third person shooter. It's a third person platformer action adventure. And I do
Mhm.
like that you do get to actually explore the worlds as the Toa would. Like in Tahu's level, you get to do lava surfing, which is like fucking cool. Because that was the opening cutscene in Bionicle Mask of Light where Tahu just used his two swords and he put them together and he could surf on that shit. He could surf on lava on that shit. I was like, that's fucking dope. And you can do that in this game. With Liwa, you can glide in the air and you can like ride on bugs, and like with Golly, you can like swim underwater on the shit. You do get to maneuver around the area like the Toa Mata or / Toa Nuba would. And I like there's just so much. I wish they had like $1. Just give them $1, please. But alas, not the case. I would give this a 6 out of 10, but I would recommend giving it a shot. If you can get this game on cheap on the dollar, I would recommend at least playing this, at least just to see how cool the Bionicle world can be. I'd recommend this more to casuals, ironically, than Bionicle Heroes, which is the finished product, but it is what it is. Yeah.
Well, thank you
All
for
right.
actually joining today, Jake.
Well,
Yeah.
Better late than never.
yeah.
Yep. Yep.
Hmm.
There we go. So, all right then. I guess with that, we can move on to the next book, audience. Do-do-do-do. It's here, up in the sky. Is it a bird? Is it a plane? Is
It's
it a
your
slot?
mama.
Well, we all wish. It's Superman Unlimited #1. But the catch is it's by Dan Slott, audience. Do. What does the slot machine have planned for the Man of Steel? So all right,
Hell
then
on Earth.
we'll see. So we pretty much open up the story with the Daily Planet. Like we get like they're going in a new direction, going into cable, doing they're looking to do away with let's see, what was it? Fake news. They're going to be fact checking their resources. And oh yeah, apparently the new person running the Daily Planet is this person by the name of Imani Edge. Okay, now I never heard this person before. Damn, I wish I had a picture of her to post up here, right? So, yeah, she's the first woman, and she's leading the Daily Planet into the new stage of news media outlets and that stuff, right? And yeah, she also puts Lois Lane as, let's see, chief editor of the Daily Planet. And oh yeah, they also assigned Clark Kent to be handling all the Superman related stories. So wink wink, right? When your wife is up there and in a high standing, you do what you can to make life easier for a husband.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, the issue goes as you expect. Like, Superman goes around stopping crime, saving the day, stopping planes from falling, lifting boats in the seas that have holes in them. And yeah, wouldn't you know it, there comes this rare moment, right? Where Superman hears nothing but peace in Metropolis. Like, there's nobody in danger. There's no crises to be happening. All he could do is just listen to this one teenager in the park, practicing in her with her guitar, singing and this and that. And Superman takes time to go up to her and gives her like a $20 bill, right? Saying, "Yeah, I just wanted you to know I listen to your new songs every single day, and you're really good at it. Hope more people could hear those." Like, dang. So all goes peaceful, except the Watchtower gets an announcement. A meteor is coming to Earth, right? And they're like saying, "Wait, how come we didn't sense this before? It was too late." And Martian Manhunter is saying, "Well, the thing is, like something. There's just metal about. There's just certain metal alloy of this meteor that bypasses sensors. So yeah, that's why Superman kind of has to act fast. Otherwise, this thing is going to destroy a large chunk of whatever continent it lands. Right." So he goes into that meteor full speed, ramming, intended to break it. But wouldn't you know it? What's under that? What sort of filling do you think this meteor has, audience? Come on, come on. What's under? What's its creamy filling when he breaks the outer shell? It's kryptonite, audience. You guys hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, okay. So yeah, there is like a mountain of kryptonite under in this meteor. Like, God dang it, Superman just charges right at it. Oh man, this is where like um he starts getting affected by the kryptonite. He looks at specifically where the trajectory of the meteor will land, and it will land in Rio de Janeiro, killing all the people there, roughly over 16 million people. So even though this could kill him, Superman still tries with all his might to at least change the trajectory of the mountain, right? Of the kryptonite, right? And this is where I gotta also state this. This book is like a $5 book. It's a jumbo size issue. And a lot of this ended up being like, I guess this is what you would expect of a number one to do, which is which is also dedicate a large segment about with the origin story of the character for I guess a new reader or whatever. But it's stuff you heard before, right? Superman's origin, him as a kid, his life experience, him getting married, this and that. Him having John as his son, his dealings with Lex, and yeah, he's like, it was a life well lived. I still had some good moments. So he's able to change the trajectory slightly so it won't hit Rio de Janeiro. But then he looks at it again, right? And he's saying, "Oh my God, no, 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 no! This meteor is now going to be hitting this small remote village with 37 people in it. You know, I can't let that happen." So Superman does the sacrifice play of smashing this meteor into oblivion, right? Even if it's just to save this small handful of people in a village that nobody pretty much knows about. So good on you, Superman. Good on you. So he wakes up in a hospital. Apparently, he's been out for 3 months. Audience, yeah, that's how much the kryptonite really screwed him over. So, of course, his wife and son, they're there to, you know, congratulate Superman for coming back alive, this and that. And you find out that in the time he was in a coma, it was actually Martian Manhunter who was disguising himself as Clark Kent, because you need that sort of thing. Hey, if Superman's out for months, like, why is Clark Kent nowhere to be seen? You know?
Mm-hmm.
I know, right? Funny enough, you remember a thing called Death of Superman audience? You know?
How could we forget?
Yeah. You ever stop and wonder how come nobody was there anybody noticing that Clark Kent wasn't around? You know?
Yeah, I
They
think he went on vacation.
yeah, they kind of tried explaining that by saying he was coincidentally one of the collateral damages of the fight with Doomsday. Even though the body hasn't been discovered in that entire time Superman was absent. They just chalked his body up to Miss MIA. But then as soon as Superman came back to being alive, when they apparently were still trying to excavate all the rubble from that fight with Doomsday, that's when Superman randomly digs out Clark Kent. You know, like so nobody knows. You know, you have to keep that facade up. But anyway, so all goes well. All the Justice League members are there to celebrate, but Batman, he has some not so good news to tell Superman, right? Like, look, there's something I need to show you. Okay, it was great that you that you prevented that mountain of kryptonite from, destroying that village, this and that. But yeah, that that village ended up taking all the debris from that kryptonite, selling it, marketing it, labeling it. So pretty much overnight, that city became the wealthiest country on Earth, and it is run and made completely by kryptonites.
Oh,
Dude, I gotta
that's
if I
lovely.
yeah, if I was Superman, I gotta say fuck you. Like I risked my life to save y'all, and now y'all are the reason why kryptonite is gonna be expanded upon at its most in history. You benefit from kryptonite. Now everybody's gonna have everything from kryptonite toothbrushes to kryptonite pocket knives. And but what can you do? The genie's out of the ball. You can't put him back. So this is where Connor Kent and Supergirl pop up, and Connor's already having a broken arm, right? And he already has a black eye. He's pretty beaten, and he's kind of explained this to Superman. Yeah, now since you've been gone, right? Because of the export of kryptonite being so easily available now and so valuable, yeah, pretty much all this is screws over every Kryptonian that's on Earth right now because now the bad guys all over the planet have kryptonites, you know? So, yikes, yikes. And this is where Connor's telling Clark that, hey, it's easy for you to say, man, you've got a secret weapon. Wait, oh wait, nobody's told you about that. That's when Batman reveals that the collision with that mountain of kryptonite that Superman had, it causes him to go gold now. Let's see. Uh, I'm going to read exactly what Batman says. 3 months ago, a mountain of kryptonite fell on you. It buried you. You should have been poisoned, crushed, and atomized, but this is how you survived. As he puts sunlight on Superman, and for whatever reason, now he's gold. So I'm like, okay, okay, we'll see where this goes, audience.
Kryptonite
Um,
was a mistake.
what was that, Jake?
Kryptonite was a mistake. We should never have made it.
Telling me.
It's as dangerous as whatever the writer says it's at, man. The fact that
I'm
Superman,
like kind of sick of it. I'm sick of like anytime I want to say, "Ooh, kryptonite." All right, bro.
yeah, the moment you have Superman uh, stopping a mountain of kryptonite running at full speed towards Earth with his own hands, man, I mean, a little pebble of kryptonite shouldn't be doing that much to him at this point, you know? So,
Also, like,
so
I just hate Superman. Superman is so dumb with the kryptonite shit. Like, we talked about this before. Anytime he fights Batman, he should just assume kryptonite is on his person somewhere. You know
yeah,
what I
yeah.
mean? He's just automatically dumb.
Gotcha. But I kind of also do want to see where this goes with that city of kryptonite. You know, it's everything from the sidewalks to their generators is all powered by it. But in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, wait, kryptonite is still radiation at the end of the day, too. I mean, remember in Justice League Unlimited, they kind of expanded on that. You know, that's what gave Lex Luthor his cancer, you know?
Yeah, but
Um,
it takes years and constant exposure to affect humans.
Yeah, well, I would think this is kind of like the equivalent of having all your material all your household appliances being made by lead. You know, it takes time for it to kick in, but when it kicks in, you're screwed. You know,
Yeah.
so yeah. And again, I gotta say, screw you to that city, man. Superman stuck his neck out for you, and this is what you do. You know, you make things harder for a whole minority group of people. Hey, Kryptonians are technically a protected class at this point. There's very minimal amount of them. There's not many of them
They're an
around.
endangered species, apparently.
Are they a
Pretty much.
protected class? They seem to be protecting themselves.
Well, now,
Hey, Jay.
funny you should mention that, Jay, because now they need to protect themselves now more than ever, since everybody on Earth now has kryptonite or
Hey,
access
Jay.
to it.
Guess what I found on Twitter? You're gonna love it.
Yo, Joe.
You-
You're gonna love it. I found ship art between Doctor Doom and Reed Richards. How do you think that
Ha.
should be about?
I think Doom will dispatch of it shortly in his regime.
Okay, cool. Good to know.
What's her ship name? Mr. Doom.
No, I think it'll be It people are calling it Doom Reed, but y'all need to think of better ship names because that was bad. Oh, but I did
That's
get Super
lame.
Bat. Speaking of Superman, I got Super Bat.
Let's see. Come on, let's think of a ship name between Doom and Reed audience. Veed.
Doomtastic.
Rick
Doomtastic.
Richter. Oh wait.
What? Why are you? No, not me. I don't want to think of a
Richter.
ship
Yeah,
name.
Let's make that happen, audience.
No,
Richter.
Doomtastic. There you go. That's the new ship name, guys. Doomtastic.
Okay. Richter, audience. Richter.
Why you keep calling my name?
The
Audience,
ship
don't make
that
that
I've
their
got.
ship name. That's my actual name.
Gotcha.
Super
But
Bat. Love Super Bat.
Gotcha. But anyway, yeah, I'm going to be sticking to this audience. Yeah, it's just Stanslot trying to do something else with new toys at his disposal. You know, he did everything you probably could have done in Marvel at this point. You know, so all right, we'll see where this goes. All right, with that, we're moving on, audience.
Okay, cool. Mummy. Let
Mm-hmm.
me grab my comics since I can't read it online.
Mm-hmm.
Luckily I went to my comic shop to get this. Anyways, let's talk about the Mummy. Where did we last off? Whatever the fuck the actual Mummy guy's name is. I don't
Imhotep.
remember. Yeah,
Imhotep.
Imhotep. I'm not gonna remember names, y'all. Y'all are gonna have to work with me. If I give descriptions, you know what's good. You get the idea.
Yep.
Anyways,
Yep.
so he's sitting by this pool of water.
Yeah. Which? Oh no, you're silent.
Sonic X is a great anime. All right, when you really break it down, it talks about the core themes about what if you brought the spirit of freedom to America? Okay, how would that affect the population? Scripted. Did you know that President Bush is the president in Sonic X?
Oh wow.
I mean, he's not. I mean, it's not called President Bush, but like it was Bush. You know what I'm saying?
Implied.
Below my phone glitched out on me, so
Oh, okay.
is now four of us. So I'm gonna do this on my iPad real quick before it dies. Okay.
Okay. Go ahead, do it.
Okay. So the mummy guy, he's looking into a pool of water. You know, he's using it for stuff. You know, he kills a guy. Why not? You know. And so after he kills a guy, one of his lovely servants walks on in, and the mummy guy is like, "Okay, bitch, bring me the fucking scroll." And so we see Helen walking around the city as you do, and she's like, "Well, I need answers, so why not go check out this guy? You know, why not?" And we see the servant guy. He's like, "Hey, come on in." And she's like, "Please don't leave me alone. Please come in with me." And he's like, "No, have fun." Literally. And so basically, she walks on in, and so the mummy guy's like, "Hey, hello, welcome. Look into the pool, okay? Like, you know, and like sit down, look into the pool." And she's like, "Nah, bitch, I would rather stand. Fuck you. Fuck you." And she looks into the pool anyways. And she's like, "You know, this incense smell sounds very familiar." You know, and so basically, it looks like she went into the pool and she kind of wakes up, in a different time. You could probably guess what this different time is.
Yep.
Place your bets in the comment section below. Anyways, so she wakes up, and one of the lovely lady servants are like, "Hey, your man's here," and she's like, "Okay, don't be spreading gossip, okay? Like, priestesses of Iris, like of Isis. Why did I say Iris? Isis. Aren't allowed to have men." And the servant lady's like, "Isis is a kind god. I don't think she would mind as long as you keep loving her. Like, you ain't a follower of Artemis. You're fine."
Yeah.
She didn't say that, but you know.
All right.
Anyways, so she, the lovely princess lady, that's what we're calling her for now until I remember her name. She's like, "I don't want to hear any more of this nonsense. Go to your room." Servant lady's like, "Gotcha." So we see Helen is like spirit. She's like, "Where the fuck am I? Who the fuck are you? What is happening here?" And so the princess like walks out. And she's like, "Hey, look who it is. It's my guy, it's my boo thing." And so before they could get caught doing anything naughty, they go hide somewhere. They kiss. You know, she tells him about the rumor, or quote unquote rumor, and Motep is like, "Hey, no one's gonna believe her. She's just a servant lady, you know." And
Right?
and so the princess is like, "Hey, I'm not. That's not who I'm worried about. I'm actually worried about the plague. The plague. Not good. No
Right.
one likes the plague. But guess who gets
Of
the
course.
plague?
Who?
You gotta guess. I'm not gonna tell you.
Do somebody with royalty in their body, I guess, right?
Yes, the lovely princess lady, whose name I don't remember.
Yay, I wasn't wrong, audience. See that?
You weren't wrong. You weren't wrong. I'll give you that.
Mhm.
So Helen's like spirit is like, "Oh shit, the plague." And so basically the princess dies, and Imhotep is like all pissy because his lady love died. And she and so she's like dead, she's chilling out in a tube. And then guess what he gets? He gets the fucking scroll of stuff, to bring her back from the dead.
Dang, that's commitment.
Commitment, I guess, but at the same time, he starts to do the thing, and he gets caught. But guess what? His plan didn't succeed, and now her father is like, "Hey, you know the rules, bitch.
Huh.
I love my daughter."
And
And
so do I.
shut the fuck up. Anyways, so basically, as his punishment, he's like, "Hey, you'll be buried alive in a nameless grave with the scroll with you. Um, have a bench,
Huh.
like have fun." And so that's what happens to him. He gets buried alive. Not fun. But we
Of
see
course.
the lovely princess, like we're back in the modern time of when this book takes place. And she's like, "How could you? It was unholy to use the scroll to bring me back from the dead." And Imhotep is like, "Hey, I couldn't live without you, girly pop. Like no other man has suffered like I have suffered for you. But I'm here now." So Helen's like, "Wait a fucking minute. That's my fucking body. Get her out of my fucking body, bitch." Don't worry,
Yep.
she gets her body back for now.
Yeah, we don't want like a Wonder Woman 2 situation here, audience, like yep.
So yeah, she runs out of this, out of the building that she was in, and runs back home. And she's like, "I need to see Dr. Muller." And guess what? She sees Frank, her homie Frank. You know Frank, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
the
Yeah.
white guy that lives in England. Yeah, and
Mhm.
and all this other stuff. So basically, he tells her that that his father died, and it asks if she knows anything about it. And she's like, "Hey, I gotta go. Like, please leave me alone." And she goes into her room, looks into the mirror, and she's like, "Girl, what do you want?" And so the princess is like, "I want to live." And I was like, "To live? What the hell are you talking about?" And she's like, "I want to live as a whole fucking person, not a disembodied ghost trapped in the mind of a girl. I want to go back to my boo thing.
There you go.
Let me go back, fucker."
Mhm.
And Helen's like, "What the fuck, man? That's scary. That's scary." I read a comic book that had a similar plot line to this, too,
Aw.
actually.
Mhm.
To place your bets on what comics those were.
Yeah, yeah.
Anyway, so Helen breaks the mirror, and fucking fetal positions on her bed because that's what I did too. And so Frank
Mhm.
is like, I don't know if she's okay, and I'm assuming that's her father that's there. I don't remember anyone here. She's like, I'm a little
Mhm.
afraid of this happening. So here you go. He's a little token of the goddess Isis, because unlike the very specific, really shitty group of people who who co-opted that name, Isis is actually a pretty cool goddess. Just letting you know. You
Mhm.
should look into her. But
Yeah,
please
yeah.
be specific on what you're googling, okay?
Mhm.
Anyways, so Frank's like, I don't know what good this will do for me, homie. And he's like, okay, the symbols of the god have power here. Okay, there's a great evil that wants to possess Helen, so hold on to this, please. So we cut
Mhm.
to hours later. Helen is asleep. Frank is looking at the keychain, and we see some shadowy, tinglies, shadowy tentacle-looking things go around and wrap around Frank's neck. He's either dead or knocked out for the time being. And guess what?
Yeah.
The princess got Helen's body back, and it ends up with her saying, "I'm coming, my love." And yeah, that's
Ooh.
where the issue ends. Unless you want me to talk about the Ghost Pepper book, but I really don't want to talk about that right now.
Yeah. Yeah. Save the voice for Avengers Academy, man. So all right.
So, okay. Anyways,
Again,
I
like,
will be right back while you talk about your books. But
gotcha.
I
All right.
speed read actually because I don't remember people's names. Oh yeah, I'll be right back.
Gotcha. All right, then, audience, with that, let's move on to the next book. And man, right now it's Spider Boy number 19. And just like the beginning of the show, audience, it's right now down to two people. Wow, look at us.
Look at us.
Okay, so yeah, come on, let's go on this ride together, man. Let's see the story end with Spider Boy, because we all
Oh, it's
know in the
over.
next no, in the next issue
Oh,
20. Yeah, Jake, because you could thank Superman for getting rid of Spider Boy, you know? You had to take them. It took the most popular hero in the world in order for Spider Boy's era to end, Jake. I
that's
consider that
okay.
a triumph, you know?
That's okay. As long as he's gone.
Man, you just want to swat him like a bug, don't you, man?
He is a. Oh no, he's an arachnid. That's not fair.
Yeah, yeah. So anyway, all right. So remember, audience, this arc is about like Spider Boy trying to get whatever Mr. Negative has in this bank, right? So he had to stage a fake heist. Well, not a fake heist. He actually is trying to rob this bank, and Spider-Man comes in. Unfortunately, this is when Mr. Negative comes in too, and he uses his power to control the people around the surrounding areas to go after Spider Boy and Spider Man, right? Oh, and then of course, he sends in his men after them, and coincidentally, apparently, one of Mr. Negative's men was one of the guys that Madame Monstrosity had experimented on. The woman who bonds people with random animals or insects. And in this goon's case, he was bonded with a worm. Like, God dang it, man! This is like uh, damn, I forgot those smile devil fruit situations from One Piece. Those bastardized ones. Like you got like you got like the lame animal zone fruit. Like because what sort of abilities could
I'm
enhance you?
back.
Yay, there you go. Which what sort of abilities you think could enhance your body if you were spliced with a worm?
You can crawl in the dirt.
Yay, you can do that right now, can't you? Oh wait,
I
no,
don't
you
like going outside.
Oh wait, no. Better yet, you're able to eat the dirt.
I don't want to eat dirt.
Think of all the money you'll save on groceries in that situation, right?
Bro, I
Because
live in Arizona. You think I want to eat that hot ass dirt? Hell no.
Oh, okay, okay. So I guess you're gonna have to go through a couple of other states then to test the quality of the soil. Then which state has the better tasting dirt, audience? You be the judge. So, anyways, Spider Boy kind of gets through to him, and you kind of find out that his buddy Christine, his pretty much older sister, right? The one that was spliced with a pigeon a couple of arcs ago. Yeah, she has some pigeon aura powers left from that splicing. But in her case, it's just instinctively it's creeping the worm guy out because hey, what do you think is a worm's native enemy? A
Bird.
bird. Exactly, you know. So yeah, they continue to skirmish. Spider-Man is going after Mr. Negative and trying to subdue the people. Oh, and by the way, this is where Spider-Boy mentions to Peter. Spider-Man, there's also something else I need to tell you. Um, in my vision, it also shows that Aunt May is going to be coming into this bank. You know, the bank heist that Bailey Briggs caused.
Mm-hmm.
Spider-Man. Wait, let me bring it up. Spider-Man says, "You are done, Bailey Briggs." Like, you're handing over that costume to me after this and done. You understand? That is it. No, Spider-Boy is gone after
Wait,
this.
so you mean Peter the whole time had agency and if Bailey could be a hero or not, and just said no?
He's like, you're in this. He's frustrated because Bailey's trying to pick a fight with an A-lister. In this situation, it's Mr. Negative, right?
No.
Yeah.
But
Bailey, I've told you nobody above a C list, but instead you've been fighting Bullseye, you've been fighting Taskmaster, and now you're going up against Mr. Negative.
okay,
That
but
is the straw back.
A-list. I mean, like one's a Daredevil villain. He's A-list for Daredevil. And really, Taskmaster hasn't been an A-lister in a while. So I mean, and Mr. Negative, come on, he's only an A-lister because of the movie. That's not even fair. I'm just saying.
Okay, okay. Oh wow, so you're devaluing Mr. Negative. It sounds like, man.
Well, I mean,
Wow.
I mean, even. Oh, you know what I'm thinking of? Oh, I was thinking of the Spot. That's how little I thought of Mr. Negative.
Okay. He hasn't been good enough to even be a background character in the Spider-Man movie. I'll give you
You
that.
tell me how Mr. Negative is an A-list Spider-Man villain. You tell me when was the last time you thought, damn, if only Spider-Man had help fighting Mr. Negative. Like,
Yeah. And again, you gotta also remember that Bailey caused all this, and he also saw in the future that Peter's aunt's gonna be coming by in the bank pretty shortly.
Also, even in the game, because if audience are watching, you remember, even in the game where Mr. Negative is here as a villain, he's the secondary villain to Doc Ock, the real A-lister.
Oh my god. Oh man. Even at his highest, he's still he's still low tier. Wow, is what you're telling me. But alright then. So the fight commences, and wouldn't you know it, Mr. Negative also, he's using his power to control everybody he touches in the audience. And of course, he touches Aunt May. You're like, oh, good lord. But it's okay, because apparently, I don't know if this happened before, but it's stating that Mr. Negative cannot control you if he had already controlled you previously. It's only a one-time control. That's it. And there is an editor's note below of Amazing Spider-Man number 618 that said yes, Madam Aunt May was controlled previously, so she can't be controlled anymore. So Bailey makes his way to the vault beneath the bank. He gets what was in the secure deposit box that Mr. Negative had, and apparently it's the animal samples of all the people who Madame Monstrosity had spliced DNAs with. So this means everybody else can now be cured. So all right, they finally got what they were looking for, and but they still have Mr. Negative upstairs to deal with and his goons. And that's when Spider-Boy does it. He takes his clothes off. Isn't that what y'all want?
Is he insane?
Isn't that what y'all wanted? You wanted him to take his clothes to get rid of the Spider-Boy outfit to be done, right?
Don't flip a kid naked in front of you. That's
This is what y'all wanted. Jake, at the end of the day, man. Oh, you wanted Peter to take that out, right?
Yeah,
Himself.
not in front
Thank
of him.
you. Also, Crispy, the way you phrased that was really weird.
That's like a. Listen, Bailey, I'm gonna meet you on this
Hey.
room at 3:00. Bring a
Jake.
spare change of clothes.
Hey, Jake, I didn't hear anybody
Yeah, he's like
complaining.
10, man. You can't be saying that, man.
Hey, I didn't hear anybody complaining when Iron Man had Peter do that in
Actually,
the
I
Spider-Man
complained.
movie.
I was like, oh, but you know, to be fair, Iron Man didn't know. He was like, oh, I love you.
He had a minor take his clothes off for him,
Yeah.
audience. Let's not forget that.
just
Tony Stark did that.
a
You know?
literal
Well,
like.
Peter knows better. Peter knows that the Spider-Man costume is modest. Okay, he doesn't quite understand.
Gotcha. But no, there is a reason behind this, audience, because because this is where Spider-Man has his moment, right? Spider-Boy is not saving the day, Christine. Today, it's Bailey Briggs who will do that. So he comes up to the second floor. You know, Mr. Negative is touching as many people as he can to go after Spider-Man. Because remember, Spider-Man's not going to can't actually hurt these people, you know? So yeah, he's getting overwhelmed, and that's when Mr. Negative sees Bailey. Keep in mind, Mr. Negative doesn't know who Spider Boy is, so he just sees a random redheaded kid. So he touches Bailey and tells him to go and kill Spider-Man. This will be the greatest insult to his legacy. The fact that his last breath will be at the hands of this minor child. You know? And Bailey does his best like Frankenstein impression. Must kill Spider-Man. Must kill Spider-Man. And then he winks at Peter. And from behind, Bailey jumps up and punches Mr. Negative. Because remember, he still has the strength of a spider. So Mr. Negative got KO'd, audience, by Bailey Briggs.
Ooh, congrats. Peter fucking Galen got his ass beat by a kid. He's not even an A-lister. What the fuck are you talking about? When I think of Spider-Man villains, Mr. Negative does not come in mind first.
I know. But yeah, Peter's like, okay, look, I'll never get a shot like this, but since like Bailey punched Mr. Negative so hard, he flew towards Spider-Man. Spider-Man delivers a epic kick to Mr. Negative. So, yay, audience. And also Bailey brings up that it's okay. You know, Mr. Negative had already touched me once. You know, back in the
Whoa,
Superior
whoa,
Spider-Man. Okay. He's already he's already going to jail, audience. Mr. Negative is already going to jail, okay?
Yeah,
Like,
what is he going to jail for?
oh my god, okay. What's a better fate for a villain than to be canceled, audience? You know? Shouldn't
Not
all
all
villains
villains are really shitty people, dude.
yeah, shouldn't all villains technically be canceled, you know? I'm
They
sure they've
should.
done some cancelable things.
Listen, when I brought up that it's weird that in the Spider-Man PS4 universe, people dress up as Electro, who's a mass murderer, everyone thought I was crazy. I'm just saying.
Gotcha. But no, this is just going back to the Superior Spider-Man era, because like there was that one issue that showed a flashback that Otto dealt with Mr. Negative, and Mr. Negative had used his powers to control Bailey Briggs to go after Superior Spider-Man, which was Otto's weakness. Because remember, Otto does not harm children, because you know he has some serious PTSD from the times his father physically abused him. You know, so yeah,
At least he has
it's
morals.
yeah, you know.
Touch kids, Mr.
Uh-huh.
Negative.
Yep. So all goes well. The day is saved. Mr. Negative goes back into prison. He's being carried like Hannibal Lecter style, audience. You know, hide your shame, Mr. Negative. Hide your shame. You just suffered a defeat against a kid who doesn't even have a chest hair. You know, so you
Just
touched
remember,
your
audience, a bunch
yeah.
of kids could beat up Sabretooth, and they
Yep.
definitely fucking body hair.
Yep. Keep this in mind, Mr. Negative. You touched your last 10-year-old boy. So
Don't ever do it again. Ew.
okay. So anyway, all goes well. The day is saved. Christine is there to give Bailey back his costume, only for Spider-Man to yank it. Okay. now that this is all over, this partnership is done, Bailey. Your Spider Boy days are done.
Thank
As he
fuck.
takes the suit. Oh yeah, you say that now, Witch, but just wait. Like in 2 months later, you'll see Peter Parker going to his bed, wallowing in misery, and holding Bailey's mask in his
But
hand.
Bailey's
You
not fucking dead. He's still alive.
know, he'll be
He's still
pulling.
fucking
He'll be
alive.
pulling.
Jake, answer me this. Is Bailey Briggs still alive?
Yes,
Yeah, okay. Did
yes.
he die on panel where Peter would have that reaction?
But I'm
No,
sure he. I'm
exactly.
sure. Hey, I'm sure he gave the mask back to Kamala, and now the only other mask he has besides his own is Bailey's
Kamala has
mask.
a whole new mask now, and it's fucking ugly.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, audience. Peter now has a 10-year-old boy's clothes in his closet right now. So is that a proper resolution to all this? You know,
Maybe Bailey should take some martial arts classes. You know, something that's more appropriate for his age.
why would he
Learn
need martial
Taekwondo,
arts?
man.
Why would he need martial arts practice when he was already trained by Daredevil?
You can have extra fucking practice, dude.
Yep, yep.
Taekwondo makes sure your skills are sharp. He's so fucking
Gotcha,
cool.
gotcha. But yeah, audience, this kind of feels more like Dan Slott is really just cleaning house at this point. Because yeah, again, he got a better deal at DC. I'm sure they paid him an extra zero in his paycheck to come work for them and end all his Marvel dealings. So we see the cover of the next issue. It's going to be a jumbo sized one, right? And we see basically everybody that was a supporting character to the Bale to the Spider Boy series. You see all the people from that animal farm. You see Toy Soldier. You see the bowling pinhead guy. You even see what's his name? That damn, I'm forgetting his name. Killionaire. Yes, him. So it's gonna be a sad time next month, audience.
No, it's
We'll,
gonna be
we'll
great. Me and Jake are gonna be celebrating.
you guys better come up with a theme song. I'll give you each a 1 minute roasting session to air out all your final words against Bailey Briggs. So you better come up with something good.
I'll write a list.
So
How about
okay,
that?
okay, gotcha. All right. Yeah, that's pretty much it for my book. So all right
Cool.
then,
I'll try to
we
get
can
through
move
my
on.
book quickly because my iPad's gonna die and my phone's acting like ass.
Okay, go ahead.
So
Go ahead.
I don't remember what pictures I posted again. So let's see if my phone wants to work with me enough to pull up Discord.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, I'm talking about Avengers Academy, One World Under Doom, issue 45, also known as Strangers.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh. Anyways, so we
Yee.
start off in Latveria some years ago. We don't know how
Mm-hmm.
long, but some years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And little Victor is like, someday I'll be king and we'll live in the castle and all of this will be ours. And his mom is like, is that so? And Victor's like, yeah, with a mo and everything and a dungeon, I bet, maybe with a ghost, and you could be queen, mom. Like, we'll have servants and soldiers and cool ass uniforms. Like,
Wait.
no more no, not yet.
Oh, sorry.
I'll let you know. I'm not done yet.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, no more foraging for weeds and skinny rabbits. And his mom is like, well, as long as we're together. But but when I look at that ugly castle, all I see is blight. Then you can switch to the picture.
Okay.
Thank you. And
Mm-hmm.
he's like squatting up there, walls ever higher, like armor even thicker, a terrified, wounded thing, you know? It's
Yeah.
like the men in that castle, quote unquote, call us filthy and thieves when they feed us, you know? It's like
Mm-hmm.
that is true theft, true filth, because if you didn't know, Doctor Doom, Victor Von Doom is a Romani man.
Mm-hmm.
Do not let anyone let you forget that.
Mm-hmm.
He's proud.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, so we just see him sitting outside of his mother's like little apothecary medicine, little wagon thing that they have, and his mother is like, "Oh, all their quote unquote power is just a prison, a way to inflict their will to hurt people. And remember, Victor, power traps none, so much as those who wield it." So, anyways, we cut back to Doom because, of course, we cut back to Doom as an adult. And he's like, Blackheart, Prince of Hell, son of Mephisto, my mother, torturer, by order of Doom, the sorcerer supreme, you will submit. And
Uh-huh.
Gabriel's like, I'm annoyed. Shut the fuck up. This old shit
Mhm.
again? Ugh. So, they fighting. The girlies are fighting. Um, but Gabriel's clothes are getting torn to shreds. Not lovely. Anyways, so Justin trying to be a good homie. He tries to be like, "Don't worry, Gabriel, I got this." And Doom is like, "No, you fucking don't. I am the Sorcerer Supreme. What are you talking about? The fuck you mean?" Anyways,
Yep.
so we see Brielle and Aaron fighting on the ground, with all the Doom bots because who else is there at the moment? And Brielle's like, "What the fuck do we do?" And Aaron's like, "What we can do, we could try our best. Blackheart's one of the most powerful magical beings on Earth, and that's Doctor Motherfucking Doom. So we could try our best, you know."
Mhm.
So yeah, we just see Gabriel and Doom just fighting in the air while Justin is like, ah, getting yeeted out into the fucking distance. And so Aaron's like, "Well, there goes Kid Juggernaut. Our heavy hitters in orbit. We're
Mhm.
outclassed. We're outgunned. Outclassed." Okay, sorry. Put away the Hamilton for a moment.
Okay.
Anyways, yeah, he's like, "We're powerless," and all this other stuff. It's like, bitch, we're fine. You guys are fine. Be fucking for real. Aaron, you're fine. Okay? No one's gonna kill your twink ass, okay? It's fine. Anyways, we'll cut over to Mephisto's hell some years ago. And we see the cover photo with Mephisto holding Victor's mom's face with his long ass, gross ass claws. Uh, so he's like, "Behold, Blackheart, my newborn son, the soul of Cynthia Von Doom," because that's her name. She might have been a powerful white witch, a wielder of the bright hold itself, but instead, in the moment of weakness, she battered herself to me. And Mephisto does Mephisto shit, and she feels bad for siding with Mephisto. It's like, motherfucker, does like no one talk to each other? Does no one
Right.
talk to
Right.
each other about like Mephisto and how you shouldn't be working with Mephisto,
Mhm.
regardless of your fucking allegiances? I don't like. Come on, man. Come on.
Yep. Yep.
Anyways, it's like, for what? You're for power, her heart's desire. Ha 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 ha. Because it's Mephisto. He's a bitch. Anyways,
Okay.
so Cynthia's like, "No, for love. I thought it was for love." And Blackheart's like, "He's insane. He's a fool. Someday I will overthrow all of this, pay back my father for these awful horrors, build a better hell." And Cynthia's like, "Yeah, you just sound like my kid, dude. Like, you're Mephisto's prisoner too. Like, even though he is your dad." And you could switch to the next picture, por favor.
Yeah. Yo.
Blackheart. Thank you.
There we
And
go.
he's like, "Farewell, little hedge witch. I leave you to your primitive damnation. I have seen your son in the world above, and he would make you proud. Hopefully. I can tell you." Anyways, so we see Gabriel. He's like, huffing with very limited amount of clothes on because of how tattered it got. Doom is
Yep.
fine. He has a little bit
Mhm.
of tattering here and there, but nothing too crazy, you know. And he's like,
Yeah.
"Pit spawn, tormentor of my mother, you will bow." And like, you just see like a little Sheila. She's like, "Hey guys, what's going on?" And Brielle's like, "Oh my god, like what happened to Cherry Crane?" And she's like, "Oh, wind shear and gravity. You know how that works. One bad guy down. Hostages all clear. Just to get this god king fascist dictator to go." And Doom basically grabs her by the neck, and she's like, "I am no fascist child." And she was like, "Weird. That's literally what they all say, you know." And so guess what? Sid
What?
is alive, unfortunately,
Mhm.
to the dismay of all of us. And Malfoy's like, "Oh my god, are you hurt?" Because he survived because he had a parachute. And she's
Yeah.
like, "That loathsome deviant, that motherfucker, like, go tell the others we have the Gorath Stone." Because, of course they do. And she's like, "And it's time for Hydra to grow a new head." It's like, shut the fuck up. Shut up.
Mhm.
It's like, we
Mhm.
have bigger priorities right now, and that's what you want to do. You just want to, like, create a new version of Hydra while Doom is, like, distracted doing ruling the entire fucking world, dude. It's like, get better priorities. Jesus fuck, my hand is sweaty right now.
She's
Anyway,
overcompensating, you know?
no shit. If she
Mhm.
was male, she would have been having a dick fighting competition with Doom, which she kind of is doing, but you know. Anyway, so
Mhm.
Doom is like, "You are defeated easily. Why are you laughing, girl?" And Sheila's like, "Oh, I was just thinking. By now, Sin has probably remembered." And so basically, she's just sitting there. She's like, "Oh fuck!" And guess what? Swaps with Sheila because basically they have to swap back eventually because that's how it fucking works. And so Doom blasts Sin in the face. Um, and she's like, "Escapade, you wretched little," and then she's like, "Ah." Anyway, so Doom is like, "It is finished. I am the Sorcerer Supreme." He's
Bring up
like,
that
"Prepare
picture.
for your exorcism, Demon Prince. Open wide the gates of hell to receive your late possessor." And Gabriel's like, "Hell won't have me, Victor. Can you switch to the next picture, please?
Yep.
Not that one,
This
the other one.
Oh.
That one. Thank you."
Okay.
And he's like, "I have nowhere to go, bitch. I got exiled, dude. Like, trust me. Like, you once were. Trust me. I'm not doing anything. I'm just vibing. You just came to me, man. I didn't go to you. You came to me. Fuck.
Mhm.
It's like, hey, your mom's soul is free, man. Like, are you really gonna hold this against me? Like, go bother Mephisto. Do not bother me."
Yeah.
And Sin is like, send all these trespassers and parasites back. Dude, don't you see our goals are the same? A new world washed clean. And Doom is like, fuck off. And basically grabs her by the neck. And he's like, built my whole life a word spat in my face, and now new mob seduced to use again by petty, pretty lies by a pretty face? Keep in
Mhm.
mind, I don't approve of a lot of what Doctor Doom does, but I can at least agree with what he is gonna do right now, okay?
Yep.
So basically, he's like, what happens, I wonder, if I took that face away? You may find it lost, as I did, terrifying. And so, can you switch to the next picture, please?
Do you?
That one. So she's like, "No, just kill me, not again," and loses her faith. Keep in mind, Doom might have had good intentions with the One World Under Doom, but it was an awful execution. But at least he does something good. Like,
Mhm.
humiliate a Nazi. Which we should all be doing, audience. Remember that. If you see a Nazi out in the wild, you know what to do. Just remember
Yep.
that.
Burn their
Anyway,
faces off, you know.
yeah,
So.
so Doom is like, I too know what it is to find oneself cast out and cursed. Like, I will not visit its cruelties upon another. My mother would not have wanted it so. And so, Aaron and Sheila are helping Gabriel, like, get up and all this other stuff. But don't worry, Justin's fine. And he's like, "Did we win?" And so Doom is like, "Doom won, as always. My Doombots will aid in the cleanup. You know, the demon boy is now in your charge, demon. But remember, you are responsible for what you obtain. Welcome to this world of woe, Blackheart." As we cut to now to Hassan's dad. I think that's what the name used to be, but now it's changed to Doomsday
Yeah. Okay.
because why not? It's Doom. We cut to Latveria present day. Can you switch to the last picture?
Yeah. There you go.
Basically, it ends off with him saying, may you find your heart's desire," while we see Doom looking at his castle in the distance where we first started this issue. Anyways, the next issue is called Everyone's Favorite Student. We don't know who that is, but there's a lot of options. We got some options. Yeah, that's the end of the issue. Stay tuned for next week. I will be talking about another issue of Avengers Academy and also maybe a Pride book. Stay tuned for the Pride book.
Got you.
But
Yeah,
I
that's
guess
it.
we live and learn.
We
Yep.
live in La Vida Loca.
That's how I'm talking.
Thank you for joining us, audience. So. Alrighty then.
I gotta check my iPad speed.
Gotcha. All right. With that, audience, we'll see y'all next time.
Bye.
See ya.